Hello, my friends. Welcome to a Carrie and Rachel almost live stream. We are pre-recording because I will be on vacation tomorrow, or for you right now. And so we're going to do this the same way that we normally do. You're welcome to leave as many comments as you want, like chime in, be here with us. We're with you in spirit. And we're just going to have a conversation. And just like always, Carrie doesn't know what we're talking about yet. So it's perfect. So I want to tell you a little story and then tell you what I did yesterday. Carrie knows, but I want to tell you about Monday first. So I just recently joined a new gym, and it's like a class system. So you have to pre-book, you have to go at specific times. You can't just go to the gym and do whatever you want. And I love it. It's been amazing. And so far, up until Sunday, I'd only gone like every other day or every third day. But I was really like getting the bug. I wanted to go more often because my body is acclimated and not killing me anymore. But Monday was a partner workout, which is already a little intimidating. It was a race, which is extra intimidating. And I thought that it would include the treadmill being in the race, and I'm not a fast runner. And so there's a lot of really competitive people at this gym. And so I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I'd been on Reddit, been like, what is this? And lots of people were like, you got to get the right partner. And here's some hacks to get the best time. And I was like, oh gosh, this is I'm still new. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I wasn't going to go. And then I ended up having a kind of crappy day for me. I was feeling really down for some reason. And I thought, well, going to the gym is going to make me feel better. So I sucked it up and I went, even though I thought I was going to be bad, even though I thought that it was just going to be overwhelming, right? Not for me is what it was saying. And I ended up having the best time. And it turns out that the treadmill was part of our day, but it wasn't part of the race. And the race was actually just on the rower, which I'm really good at. And it was so much fun. And I met someone new who I didn't know before, obviously. And it just was such a wonderful hour. And then I ran into my neighbor who I'd had a dream about, and I was able to tell her. And it was just so many beautiful synchronicities. And something that I thought wasn't me, something that I thought I couldn't do, ended up being totally doable and actually super fun. Okay, so I thought, okay, lesson learned, right? Don't prejudge something negatively. And then yesterday, I spent 8 hours meditating for a video. I had this thought about a month ago. I thought that would be really cool. What if I meditate for 8 hours in one day? And I thought, again, I'm going to be dragging by the second half of this. I'm going to have to force myself to do it, which is so not me, right? It turned out to be, I don't want to ruin the video. You'll see that on Monday, come back to the channel, but it was the most fun I've ever had. I could have kept going. I had more ideas for meditations than I had time. It was phenomenal. And so there's this theme in my life. The things I think are going to be hard turn out to be delightful. And so I don't know. That's what I want to talk about today. If Carrie has ideas or examples of that, if you do, put them in the chat or the comments, and let's go, because this is a life-changing thing. This is yes, I'm going to do the things that are in my heart kind of thing, because now I'm not scared anymore. This is a huge shift for me.
Well, so I have questions for you. So, hey, everyone. I like how you introed with as usual, Carrie has no clue what's going on. It's true. But I have questions for you. So the first thing is about the gym. I know that you were not excited about this particular workout, right? You were feeling ooh, I don't want that. But what inspired you to join the gym in the first place?
I really intense physical activity.
Okay. So you were at a place of readiness, right? You knew because I know you've been you work out on and off, right? But you really like intense physical activity. But what made you want to go outside of your home? Because I know you can work inside your home. So like, what was it that you were like, I want to join this gym?
Well, I've been thinking about this gym for years, like off and on. And it was actually that my neighbor um, texted me by accident her schedule for the week. She was supposed to text it to her other friend, and I was like, "Oh, I think it's Orange Theory." I'll just say it. I think she's going to Orange Theory, and these are the times because I'd actually been looking at their calendar already. And she's like, "Yeah, I go, and like 4 people in the neighborhood go." Which I don't know. I only know her really. But so it was just like a synchronicity happening of timing. She's like, we can go together. She made it easier.
And so about that, is this something like, has it been a desire of yours to like know more people in your neighborhood?
Yeah, well, one of the big reasons I wanted to move back to Connecticut is because I have no in-person friends here. And yes, you can all cry for me. I have no in-person friends in Utah, but I'm really shy and I don't talk to anyone. So of course I don't have any in-person friends. And so that was in my vortex. Like, I want to make friends. I want to know more people. I want to be more social. I want to get out of the house. So, like, all of those things were converging. Yes.
Okay. So you have these desires that you have a desire of like, I want to be more connected to like my current community. I want to have more friends. I love doing intense physical activity. I would like more of that. You've already been looking at this gym as a possibility. And then lo and behold, it came to you. Like all you had to do was go sign up. She accidentally sent you her schedule. So the reason that I'm prefacing all of this is like, it was totally in your vortex to go to this gym, right? So when you say, because I think there's a little bit resistance in me around the story that like the things I think are going to be hard are actually delightful, but like when one, you were choosing intense physical activity, so there's a certain amount of hard that that goes with that, and you were open, like let's see if I can articulate
Yeah.
this.
What are you getting at here, Carrie?
Well, what I'm getting at is, I think that I'm pushing back on the idea that like this isn't for you because you already knew it was for you. Like you were already there, you already loved it. It was just like a new edge of your comfort zone, a new edge of like, I'll do this, but I'm not doing that. Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I just wanted to like start there. Like it's because I think that matters to the story. It's like this is something that you want. This is an environment that you already liked. It wasn't like, you know, I don't know, like someone randomly said, you should try knife throwing. And you were like, I'm scared of knife throwing, but okay. Like it wasn't that. It was just a new edge for you. And same with the meditation, right? It was an idea, it was an inspired idea. Yes, when you had this idea for the video, you didn't be like, oh, it'd be amazing to do this. That'll suck. Like, is that what happened for you?
No, I have this, it's buried, but I have this notebook. I just made a little calendar in it to like plan out videos. And so it was just one in a long list of inspired ideas.
So same. Like, I guess what I'm getting at is, of course, these experiences were amazing because they came from a place of alignment and aligned action. Like they are the result of alignment and aligned action. And so this is the thing that happens inside of a lot of us, which is like we get the like spark of desire, we get the like thing that we want to do, and then our brains tell us a story about why it's not possible or why it won't work, or in your case that's going to be really hard and suck and I don't want to do that and it'll make me uncomfortable. But really, like if it's not about, it's about, did the idea for this come from a good place?
Yes. And I think that's kind of always the case, right? Like that's why I want to share this because it's such a duh thing. But to us, to the people experiencing it, it feels so separate. It feels so apart from our normal momentum. you know? Like, and that's the thing that I love exposing in people. And like you're doing with me, like I'm doing with myself, like I do with my clients and you too. It's like we will be on this momentum and then hit a wall because of some stupid thing. Well, nothing stupid, silly thing that our brain is telling us. And we feel like it's so solid. We feel like it's this absolute barrier when really, it's really not. And if we can just step into that a little bit, and usually it's about reconnecting with the original energy of that intention, right? Getting ourselves to that good place. Or for me, it was like actually feeling bad and realizing like, well, this isn't going to feel worse than how I already feel. Like I want to feel better, so I'm going to go.
Path of least resistance sometimes is like what sucks less.
Yeah. Mhm.
What this made me think of is like, oh my gosh, this is why it's so important, I believe, to have a coach, but also an intuitive coach, like someone who can just feel into stuff and like just call out the lies that we tell ourselves, or like the maybe a gentler way to say that is like the ways in which we are arguing for our own limitations. And I heard one in you, so I'm going to call you out on it. When you're afraid of the treadmill, and you're afraid of the treadmill, you told me, because I am not a fast runner. And I just want to remind you that weren't you like a sprinter in high school? Weren't you a track runner? Like, aren't you actually in actuality a very fast runner?
So I'm a fast sprinter, but I don't have a fast base pace. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like you. I can't run like 6 miles and like anywhere under like 12 minutes a mile. You know what I mean? So and the
Okay.
and I'm not afraid of the treadmill. I just was afraid of a race situation where I was like contributing to someone else's score as well. Like it was just it was a mental block.
Sure. I was waiting for you to say, like, oh, and then I went, so wait, let's just call this out. Like, it's okay. That's why you go to Orange Theory. Is what you have, Rachel, that a lot of people don't have, is you actually have a pace that is quite fast. And so you can train your body to run for long distances. Not everybody can be trained to run probably as fast as your little legs want to go. But you can train those fast little legs to run like a steady pace over a long distance. That's why you go to Orange Theory. But what I was expecting you to say, like how I thought that story was going to um, play out, is that you went and you contributed to the team and you sucked, but no one cared. And it was really fun. Like that's where I thought you were going to go with that. Recognizing like so much, and either way, like so much of the story that you told was about like being open to the environment of support that you were in, and recognizing like who cares if you suck, if you're if you're having fun and you're trying hard. Like I think that is every competitive situation. Like you have to be a real a-hole to like not cheer on that person who's doing their best and is crappy. So
Yes. And one of the things that's so great about Orange Theory is it is completely supportive. There's all ability levels, like so yes. And I've noticed over the last few months like um a real like pattern of underestimating myself and kind of discounting my abilities because like like you're saying, I am a sprinter and I love to work out and I'm good at it and it's fun and like I could do all these other things that I often just kind of like bring myself down a notch in my head without realizing it. And I really don't need to do that. And it doesn't bring it up to here where I'm like bragging all the time, but it's just being current with myself. Like that's what I'm hoping to do. And that's what this week has helped me do. I think, just relax into like, I know myself and I know my abilities and I'm always open to seeing new things about myself, but I don't have to like discount. That's not necessary.
So let's talk about the meditating, because I got to be witness to part of that journey. So number one, you did not meditate for 8 hours straight. Like you took breaks. You had 8 hours in your day that you were in a meditation. Um, Which an 8-hour straight meditation is a whole nother thing. Like, what if you have to pee? That's just.
Yeah, I like to pee and eat things. So, yeah.
But either way, like I hear myself even in saying that, like going, oh, that's like crazy impossible. And I remember when you told me that you were going to meditate for 8 hours, I was like, damn girl, good for you. But like 20 minutes is a lot for me. And I got to like experience you a couple times in your journey being like, I just finished another hour and it was amazing. It was incredible. And I'm loving it so much more than I thought I would. And this is great. And so I guess I'm asking just to like, tell me why you thought it was a good idea, then why you thought it was going to suck, and then why you loved it after all.
Okay, so I didn't know it was a good idea. I just wrote it really quickly. It was one of those like very quick thoughts that I just wrote down on my planner. And then yesterday, no, not yesterday, Monday, when I was having the bad day, I was realizing I have anxiety. I'm not letting myself do something I really want to do. What is it? And the only thing that I could think of was like, I would really love to meditate for 8 hours. Like, I really want to do that. I want to try it out. And so I had time yesterday. And so I did it. And I thought it was going to be difficult and actually, I thought it would be a good video because I thought I was going to struggle. And, like the videos where people are like, really, I got to get through it. It's going to be great. And then at the end, they're like, I'm so glad I did it. Like those kinds of videos, like the BuzzFeed style. And that didn't happen at all. I, I thought I was going to be dragging. I thought I wouldn't want to, do anything. And honestly, it was the easiest thing I've ever done. It's easier than my normal day. Like it was great.
So why did you think you would struggle? Do you have a history of struggling with meditation?
Well, I have never done this before. So I assumed that it would be difficult because it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot to commit to. And yeah, I guess I really didn't have a reason per se why I thought I would struggle. I just thought this is a very long time to be doing something I usually do 20 minutes a day. There's been one time in my life where I've done it for 2 hours, and that was really great. But I mean, 2 hours and 8 hours is a really big difference. So I didn't know.
I'm just digging around in here, Rachel. But like I do find it interesting, right? That I think it's a pretty natural human thing to be like, I've never done it,
Mhm.
therefore it sounds hard.
Yeah. Hmm.
Instead of I've never done it, but the one time I did meditate for longer than 20 minutes, it was 2 hours and it was amazing. Right? Like, and it was really easy. Like, I'm just finding it interesting that we tend to do that. I've never done it, therefore it must be hard. It's new, therefore it's probably going to suck.
Yeah, I
I
know.
know.
And I think there's a kind of an epidemic of that. Like, there's a whole generations right now who identify with anxiety. My anxiety is what is said a lot of the time. Like, and I think there's a lot of energetic reasons for that, where they are like so tuned in to themselves and how they feel. They're so sensitive, but yet society hasn't shown them that they have the autonomy and authority to make their own decisions. I think there's a huge dissonance that causes anxiety. Um, so there's a general tendency toward negativity about new things. I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to meet new people. I don't want to do new things, right? Like, because there's a big unknown. And I can definitely identify with that at times. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
Well, I'll just pause because you're talking about anxiety. So you guys, I feel like I share on these live streams a lot, like what I'm currently reading. So in case you're wondering, what I'm currently reading is called Elite Minds, How Winners Think Differently and Create Competitive Edge and Maximize, to create a competitive edge and maximize success. But I think it was this book. I could be wrong, but either way, now someone knows what I'm reading. I think it was this book that talked about anxiety and depression. and said, anxiety is fear of the future and depression is fear of the past. And I was like, oh, yeah. And so a lot of, right, what you just experienced was like this assumptions about, or maybe it was placing meaning on a future. Either way, it was this idea that like we're obsessed about an unknown future instead of like being in this relaxed, capable, peaceful, what's the best feeling I can feel right now kind of a place in the present. I forgot. Okay, so I guess how we apply that to meditation. I just find it interesting that like you're feeling anxious about doing something that you absolutely know your experiences with meditation have only ever been great, right?
I mean, not really. It's like I go through times where my 20 minutes is a complete struggle and I don't find a minute of connection. Like I have days like that. So it's not like I'm always able to walk around. I never cannot get up out of my chair. You know what I mean? Like, and so if I want to walk around for 8 hours, like it's going to be a piece of cake. There was some variability in there,
Got it.
but I did wait for the timing, right? I had the idea, but then I waited till I wanted to do it. And then even on the day that I was going to do it, I thought, oh, the day before, I was like, I should wake up early because that's what people do, right? I should wake up early and start it early and get it done. But you guys know that's not me. So I didn't wake up early and I didn't even, like, I did my normal morning routine. I started at noon. So I waited until I felt like starting, I didn't force myself in any way.
Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah.
Because
But
go ahead.
I just want to call you out for a minute too, because you do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
When you're going to be going to your retreat, which you always love and have a good time and feel your most, magical self. And for like a month ahead of time, we're always like so stressed out about it. So we all do this.
I don't want to go. Yeah, it's going to be such a huge pain in the ass. But I think the same thing, right? There's at least from the retreat standpoint, I have a lot of experience with resisting it, going, loving it, like to where I'm aware of the pattern and it's like slightly comical as it shows up. I think for you, it sounds like the both experiences were like a new recognition of an old pattern, right? And a new recognition of a way like, oh, this is showing up. Like I didn't know. I thought I was in a place of like, no, this really isn't for me. Right? Is that fair? At least with the Orange Theory class.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, or just like, this isn't going to be as easy as the other classes, or there's some new variable that's scary. There's an unknown here.
So this is a thing that comes up a lot like for me. And I remember early on you and I having these conversations about things I force myself to do because I'll thank myself later. And I'm wondering like if that's what this feels like.
Yeah, especially the Monday thing. It was like, I know I'll feel better if I just go. I know I can deal with it. That's the thing I say to myself a lot, is like, I can deal with this. Whatever the variable is, I can deal with it. Yeah.
I don't remember where I was going, but there's something here. So I'm just going to pull the thread until I find it. But I think there's something there in that, like, okay, because maybe there's an element of should. Like, there's like, how do I know if this is an aligned idea, aligned thing? Oh, it was wait till you feel like it. Found it. Okay. Because, right, on the one hand, like you're totally honoring yourself in that meditation thing, recognizing like I've chosen to do this and I'm going to wait until I feel ready to do it. Wait until I feel like doing it. And so you found like your moment of alignment. And like for me, a lot of times with exercising or with other things, like if I waited until I felt like doing it, I wouldn't do it because my momentum is on the couch or wherever it is. And so I don't wait until I feel like doing it. I remind myself, Carrie, you like this. You always feel better for having done it. I set the alarm, or I like put it on I set aside time and I say, okay, like it or not, you're going to do this. Maybe where I find grace with myself is sometimes I'll start it and then be like, I really don't feel like doing this. Or I'll think that I want to do like an intense workout. And then as I get started, maybe yoga today, or vice versa, right? Think I'm going to do yoga and then be like, no, I want to lift heavy weights today. But I don't know. I just sort of wanted to talk around that, like this, like, I know I'm in alignment with exercise, but if I waited until I felt like doing it, there would be lots and lots of days where I didn't do it. And then as I'm saying more on that, I'm realizing if I let those days go long enough, I would probably then, like, if I just didn't exercise for lots and lots of days in a row, I think eventually I'd be like, I feel like exercising.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's definitely something to helping your momentum change. You know, like I said, Monday, I was feeling bad and I knew I'd feel better going to this uncomfortable situation that I thought was going to be uncomfortable. But normally, you know, like I have a hesitation. So with this gym, you have to book ahead of time. And maybe it's even just a few hours or maybe it's days, right? It doesn't really matter as long as your class doesn't fill up on you. But I second guess myself all day long. It's like, do I really want to go? Oh, right. I got to remember to go. I got to remember to have clothes around. And I'm still in the phase where I'm putting my things together the night before if I have a morning class and like making sure that my favorite outfit is ready. And, you know, I went through the honeymoon phase of like buying new cute workout clothes, you know, to like and I paid for the unlimited membership so that I'm to be worth it, am going at least 3 times a week. But that's really what I want to be doing. That's what feels best to me. But I'm still doing things to ensure that I don't lose momentum. I'm actually going on vacation for a couple days, and luckily there's a location right near where I'm staying, so I can still go to the gym if I want to. I'm letting myself have the option of not if I feel like it, but like I'm still having to do those things too. It's just like you and your alarm. It's like it's not ingrained yet where I'm like, yeah, every single day I go to the same time. Like, no, it's still a little bit of like a let's prepare to go kind of thing.
I'm really going to change the subject if you're cool with it.
Yeah, cool.
Because I'm noticing the drawing or the painting behind you, and I swear I've never noticed it before.
I changed them.
Okay, so do you mind talking to me about that? Not the turn the other way, the orange bottom.
Oh, that.
Yes.
That's been there for a while. That is a print of a souped photograph that I took. So that's actual film photograph that I manipulated chemically before it was printed. Whatever, you know, I'm not a photographer, but before it was processed. And here you can see the top of it. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
That's from the car in northern Arizona.
Amazing. I've never noticed it. And how many times have you and I been sitting here?
Actually, it's available for sale if you click on my shop underneath my YouTube videos. It might not be on this one, but if you go to like any of my YouTube videos, go click on the shop underneath it and you can purchase a print if you want to. Not that big if you don't want it that big.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Did you want to show me the other drawings behind you?
Oh, well, I got a little worried because I kind of, let's talk about it.
You don't have to.
Well, I don't always like talking about my super big dreams with the whole wide world, but all of you that are watching are my loves. So this is my $10 million business structure. This is actually my next step to getting to my $10 million business structure. And it has a lot to do with this whole mindset stuff because basically what it's telling me is all of this is emotional focus. How can we really see ourselves clearly? How can we be current and relaxed with what we want, right? It's that idea of not letting the silly brain talk get out of hand or the anxiety, you know? And then this is just like, okay, action steps, creative alignment. And then once the emotional focus is more under wraps, it's this huge surge of creative alignment with action, which is the whole reason I'm here on this planet. Like, I love being creative. So, yeah, it's a very exciting drawing to me. So I hung it up.
What I love is that it actually plays perfectly into what we're talking about today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you've shown it to me before, but I think because of the way the camera is this time, like I'm seeing it differently. I think the other time I saw it, it looked like it was face, you know what I mean? It looked like it was flipped to me. And I really, 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 really love the, I can't tell if it's pink or red, but that like that graph upward. So it totally reminds me of like training cycles and Orange Theory and like the way that
Mm-hmm.
um how we train the human body. So that's really, really cool actually. And to hear like this stuff on top, the stuff that I'm worrying about, this is emotional, or that I'm focusing on right now is emotional focus. Guess what we're talking about right now?
I know.
Emotional focus. When
And
it
honestly, you know, this is from 10/17. So this is from before I joined the gym, about a week before. And the gym absolutely helps me with emotional focus. Like, I think one of the good things that's nice about it that I like is I love intense exercise, but I need to follow along to something. I'm not great at like planning out things because I also like to use weights and, you know, it's a whole thing. And so the fact that I get to just show up and like be told what to do for an hour, I don't have to use my planning muscles there. And so I just zone out and listen to the really cool loud music and like do my thing. And I feel amazing after. And it really, that their format adds to that emotional focus that I get from it. So I feel like since I've done this drawing, I've done a lot of different things to help me with this, um, including meditate for 8 hours. So it's pretty neat when you like, that's why I love intuitive art, because it does help you focus. It helps you get the answers of what do I need to do now to get to where I want to go. It's pretty good.
That is a like a common question that like people have, at least for me when I work with, is like they look at their drawing and they're like, okay, great, I get it. But what they don't do oftentimes is continue to work with that drawing and
Mhm.
continue to ask questions like, okay, what are the things that make me feel like I'm improving my emotional focus? Let me do more of those. But I also love this. I mean, you and I talk about it in all kinds of ways. We talk about alignment. We talk about listening to yourself. We talk about trusting yourself. But for me, I used to have a program that I don't sell anymore, but it was all about body, mind, business alignment. And this idea that like sometimes like your focus right there on that drawing, like it was about your $10 million business. It's not about like, how do I feel better in my day? Or like, it's very specific about your business. And yet, one of the steps to emotional focus, which is clearly very important in your business, is hard physical work,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the cool thing is like, okay, what helps me emotionally focus? Exercise. Cool. That then becomes important to my $10 million business. And that's the stuff.
And you know what's cool about this in particular, this story that we're talking about, is that I was on a kick of reading really successful people's memoirs for years. And what do they mostly have in common? They exercise and they meditate across the board, all of them. I don't know any exception to that. They exercise and they meditate. And even when I was in fashion school, the owner of a really successful store in Westport came in one day and talked to us, and she's like, "I run every single morning. You need to do something like that. Like, pick your thing. That's going to help you succeed in business." And um, yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but it's just funny that it's coming back to me now that I would like to be in that state, join those people with those memoirs. Like, what does it come down to? Well, a big part of that is meditation and exercise.
And what were we talking about today? Did you know that when you started this conversation that you were going to bring it to me?
No, this is full circle. I didn't even really put it together.
That's awesome. That's so great.
Mhm.
And it is true. I was going to add something that I've noticed about successful people, but I don't know if it's actually true or if it's like self-validating. They wake up early. So I'm like, yes, they do. You
Well,
can say,
I'll have you guys are going to be shocked by this, but I wake up at 7:30 on the weekends to go to like the 9:45 class. Never something I thought I would do, but I want to go, and that's the last class, so I got to use it or lose it.
that's awesome, Rachel. So
Mhm.
can you tell me about that, about changing something? Because last week I was talking about how I love waking up at 5 a.m. And even though some days I think I'm going to love sleeping in, like if I even sleep until 6:30, and I know like this is really early for the like normal human, but if I even sleep until like 6:30 or 7, I feel like my whole day is like wasted. I'm groggy for the rest of the day. Like I don't do my normal routine. But what I'm getting at is, does it I'm a believer that you never have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And so lots of people will say, like, you have to sacrifice in order to succeed. And in this particular instance, one could say you're sacrificing something you love, sleeping in order to do something that you want to do or that you think is necessary. Um,
I
I
actually have a great response to this.
Okay.
Okay, so when I talked about this on the video that I did about morning routines, which I will link below, the reason I like to stay up late during the week is because my brain power works best between like 2 and 11. And I usually stay up till about 1, 12 or 1. And so I like to get 8 hours of sleep. I'm not willing to sacrifice that. And so I wake up around 9. And that just works for me during the week when I'm working because I like to work late. But on the weekends, I don't work typically. So I don't need to stay up late. And I don't. I go to bed at like 11 o'clock and I can wake up at 7:30. So it's still it's what I want to do still. I'm not sacrificing anything. I'm actually just like moving my schedule around so that it makes most sense for me.
Well, that is a beautiful response. And the only thing I was going to say is that when you're at a point of readiness, it never feels like a sacrifice,
Yeah.
right? Like it feels like an empowered choice. It feels like,
Mhm.
ooh, I'm choosing to wake up early because I'm the kind of person who gets up early on the weekends and goes to this class. Like, um, yeah, yeah. All right. I feel like we've talked like around circles. So I'm going to take us back to the beginning, which is you said the thing I think is going to be hard is actually delightful. And so that kind of goes to like waking up early on the weekend and going to this class that I think is going to be hard. And then realizing it's delightful. Or I had an inspired, I think that where we didn't go necessarily and where I'm betting like many of our viewers will go and where I would go if we were in a role reversal situation here is I really want to do this thing. It seems so exciting and wonderful and like let's use like I really want to write a book on whatever. And oh, that sounds so amazing. And then instantly go to, oh, but it's so hard to find a publisher or a literary agent or oh, but man, writing a book sounds like it's a huge undertaking and I don't have a lot of time and like I probably have to do a ton of research, like going to that.
Yeah.
Um, and so I guess my question is, it's not what is an easier way? What is a better way for us to remember that it can be delightful?
Well, so I'll be really honest. I always wanted to write a book about intuitive art, right? I've been doing it since I was 11 or 12. Um, I wanted to have that book written by the time I was 30, right? Like we all have those dreams of doing something by 30. It didn't happen. Didn't happen 32, 33, 34. Finally, I wrote it, and it was really probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And I needed support in order to do it. And sometimes I would sit in my computer for 6 hours and not write a damn thing. But I had a deadline because I had a writing coach, um, who's now beautifully in heaven or whatever you want to say. But she would still coach me for sure. um, I needed a lot of support. I needed to know that it would be worth it, that I've wanted this for a long time. It's like anyone telling you how to accomplish a goal, write down your why, put it on the wall, like make a plan, put it in your calendar. It still took me a year and a half to do it fully, from writing it to editing it to like getting all the marketing together and launching it and all that stuff. But I finished it. It was released when I was 35. I'm now 40, and it's been done for 5 years. So it might feel like the hardest thing that you've ever done, but you know what? You're going to finish it, and then it will have been done for years and years and years because you're going to live on and be able to look back and say, I did that. So that could be another motivator as well. Like if you've been wanting to do something for a while, sure, you can push it off and push it off and push it off. Or you can decide, I'm going to find a way to make this as easy as possible. It might still be difficult. My classes are difficult. My climbing mountains is difficult. We do difficult things all the time that are worth it. So find your own support system and schedule and whatever you need to do. Break it down into teeny tiny little chunks if you need to. Write 10 minutes a day if you need to. Use the Pomodoro technique. That is my saving grace for doing hard things. So find solutions. Solutions are available if you really want it. And then it will have been done and you will like thank yourself every single day.
That's a really good way. There's one other thing that I would add just because I'm thinking of our friend Jean, which is like, can you turn it into a game?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
how you support yourself in doing all that. So I feel like talking about being in the environment, talk about having an intuitive coach, talking about, hey, you want to do something hard and you want to enjoy the process. You want to do something and you don't want to sacrifice. We should probably tell people how they can get support from us.
Yes. Well, that's what we do. We help people live the life of their dreams because there's a lot of mindset hurdles to get over, as you can see. So you can find us at intuitiveart.com/membership. You can join our group. It is ever growing and wonderful and supportive and just the ticket. It is just what you're looking for if you want to do these things. And comes with tons of courses, including aligned income, and us 3 times a month live with Intimate Alien, Carrie and I. Or join our certification, get on the wait list and develop the skills that where you can learn from it. And then you can help other people tap into their own intuition and higher self. And you can go to intuitiveart.com/certification for more information. Get on the wait list. We're going to be launching soon and it's going to be amazing. So yeah, intuitiveart.com. You can find all about us.
I just want to add, because it was so good. Yesterday, I was leading a call inside of our group and we had a brand new person. It was like her first time there and I kind of just like threw her in. And at the end of the call, she was like, I just feel like, oh, this is just such a relief. This is just such a relief. And I was like, yeah, you found your people. It's going to be awesome. But it was like, you could see her being in that group, being surrounded by the right people, getting the kind of support that she really needs. It was like she was like melting into a jacuzzi. Like she was like, oh, here I am. It was so good. So if that's what you're looking for in your life and business.
Yeah, I especially want to welcome you in if you are shy and introverted, because honestly, we are too. You'll never believe it, but we are. And if you're not a group person, neither am I, and neither is Carrie. But if you vibe with us, you will vibe with the group. They are absolutely amazing creatures. So yeah, just People don't believe me sometimes when I say that, and then they come in, they're like, "Oh my god, you were so right." These people are great. So,
The best.
yeah. So is that it, Carrie? We're completing for
That's
today?
it, man. Today's a good day. I'm super excited to like see everybody's comments after
Mhm.
this goes live. So let us know. I'm sure you've been letting us know this entire time, but like what are you relating to?
Yes, I'm very excited to find out, and, thank you all for coming. We won't see you next week because it will be American Thanksgiving, and then Indigenous Peoples Day. No, there's a new name for it. We already had Indigenous Peoples Day. We have, it's not on my calendar, so I don't oh, Native American Heritage Day. Very important day. I just want to call that out. Um, Thank you for the land that I live on and so much more. So we will see you in 2 weeks. I'll probably have a video up for you anyway, but watch Monday's video on me meditating for 8 hours.
I'm
Okay,
guessing it's not an 8-hour video,
it's
right?
not an 8 hour video. No, actually, I haven't even edited it yet, but it'll probably be like 25 minutes.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you so
Bye,
much,
guys.
and we'll see you soon.